Hey guys, welcome in. It's a MonkieMar. Before we get into this video, please make sure you click the like, the subscribe, and the bell for notifications. Hey guys, welcome in. Let's get into this latest update regarding Chrissy Powell. And most of us do know that she was the one that was found in the Huebner Oaks Center 3 weeks after she left her house running late for work. And with that, guys, let's get into it. Not sure what's next. Chrissy Powell's mom recounts the ill-fated search for her daughter. I actually found this article to be interesting. I found it to answer some more of my questions to the point where, to this day, guys, I cannot wrap my head around this to save my life. I just can't. But after this article, I'm going to jump over to this Twitter and I want to read some threads by this psychic that I found actually a big possibility. I just don't. The whole passenger seat has thrown me for a loop. But let's get into this article, guys. Claudia Mobley is a few years retired from her career as a computer teacher at Rhodes Elementary. As she prepared for retirement, she looked forward to spending more time with her own family who lived with her at her medical center area home, including her daughter, Chrissy, and her grandson, Orion. Powell herself was a paralegal. The 39-year-old was a week into a permanent position with the law firm Sanchez & Wilson, an office located at 6243 West Interstate 10. Her older son, Ryan, 12, was attending band camp, honing his skills on the euphonium, a brass instrument. But Powell disappeared on her way to work July 5th. After more than 2 weeks of searching and wild guesses as to what happened to her, Powell was found deceased in the passenger side seat. Let's not leave that part out, guys. In her SUV in the parking lot of the Huebner Oaks Shopping Center on the north side of San Antonio, Texas. The sprawling shopping center is about 4 miles away from Powell's home, a 10-minute drive down Huebner Road. On the day she vanished, Powell had overslept. About 10 a.m., someone from work called asking where she was. She said she would be late. So, if you are planning on going to a shopping plaza and calling it quits, why would you even answer the phone after already oversleeping? And at this point, it's 10 a.m. She was probably doing work at 9. I mean, that does not add up to me, guys. It just doesn't. You know, I was not allowed to talk about Christina Powell through the whole weekend, last weekend. And I didn't talk about her. But I kept secretly going and looking at everything I could find. Mobley remembers seeing her daughter dash out the door, foregoing her usual routine of preparing for the day. She even forgot her iPhone, but her Apple Watch stayed on contrary to other reports, Mobley said. Powell was slightly pale from oversleeping and hurried. She just kind of threw herself together and said she was late, zoomed out the door, Mobley recalled. Powell left the front door open as she headed straight for her 2020 Nissan Rogue parked out front. Be careful, her mother remembers telling her. The doorbell camera captured footage of what might have been Powell's last steps at 10:34 a.m. video that would circulate online after her disappearance. Mobley thought her daughter had made it to work until later that day when a co-worker showed up at her front door with 2 police officers. They spoke with Powell's son Ryan and asked him to check to make sure she wasn't in her room. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I definitely want to hear from you guys. Drop your comments on this video. I am going to touch on them in tonight's live, but I'm not feeling it. I just do not feel that this girl went to that shopping plaza, hopped into the passenger seat, and just decided to end it all, especially when you hear what we are about to read. And that's when I knew she hadn't showed up for work, Mobley said. She began calling people she hoped might know of her daughter's whereabouts. The father of Powell's 3-year-old son, Elijah, her best friend, her ex-husband. Perhaps Powell had gone to visit her father, or maybe she had flown to visit her sister in Utah. Mobley searched along her daughter's route to work with the help of a close friend. She drove off the route and checked hotel parking lots and Walmart parking lots. In reporting her disappearance to police, she emphasized Powell's struggle with anxiety and depression. Powell took 2 medicines before bed every night. Police put out a missing persons bulletin after 3 days. Police would take notes, but they wouldn't put her on the missing persons list, Mobley said. But they finally did. It seemed like it was after I emphasized the depression and anxiety. Now Mobley, 70, is left to grapple with the questions that surround her daughter's death, particularly how Powell could be left there for so long in a parking lot that is often busy with people eating at restaurants and shopping at big box retail stores. Agony of waiting. The Monday morning atmosphere is still quiet at Mobley's house. She sits calm and collected on a soft green sofa chair in the living room. A light flows into the room from a large window, which affords a backyard view of a variety of plants and 2 dogs, both eager to come back inside. The mutts, Chevy and Oliver, bark impatiently as Mobley glances out from the chair. Her daughter and grandson recently adopted the dogs from the Animal Care Services shelter. Ryan wanted one dog and Powell wanted the other. I'm not a dog person, so it's been kind of a learning experience, Mobley said. Powell had a passion for gardening that she shared with her mother. The backyard is filled with succulents and orchids she grew. In her room, Powell was stocking up on household items in the hopes that one day she would move into her own home. That to me does not sound like somebody who is going to go drive into a plaza and sit in a hot car. Mobley and her daughter loved Ryan so much that they joked they would maintain joint custody of him if she ever did find a place of her own. The news of Powell's disappearance resonated both locally and nationally. Mobley continues to receive calls from so many news outlets that she has stopped answering her phone. About a week before Powell's body was found, a security guard noticed a black SUV parked at the shopping center. That same guard was on duty July 23rd when he noticed the SUV was still there. He approached and smelled a foul odor. Then he looked inside and saw a body in the front passenger seat. He called police. As officers swarmed the scene, Mobley received pictures from supporters showing the black SUV surrounded by police vehicles and the SUV's license plate. One person who sent her an image said that it took 3 days for police to notify a relative in a similar situation, so they didn't want her to experience the agony of a wait. She called the missing persons unit and a detective confirmed they have found the vehicle. They informed her the next morning in person that the body was Powell's. Police had tentatively identified her at the scene from ID in her purse. Police told Mobley they found security camera footage that shows the SUV driving into a parking space shortly after 11 a.m. July 5th, the day Powell went missing. No one is seen getting out of the vehicle. So that tells me that they see the car. They don't know who's driving. They don't see anyone get in or get out of the vehicle. I still feel that something is so wrong with this whole entire situation. The car was near an ATM, a Ross Dress for Less store with its large blue letters could be seen in the distance. Police told Mobley her daughter was found slumped on the passenger side. So was she sitting in the passenger side or was she slumped on the passenger side? Like, it's so confusing. If you just walked by the car, you probably wouldn't see her sitting there, Mobley said. The shopping center is in the opposite direction along Interstate 10 West from the law firm where Powell worked. Mobley doesn't know of any special connection her daughter had to the center or what business she would have had there that day. As of Wednesday, the Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office had yet to identify Powell's cause of manner of death. The findings could take 3 months or more. Investigators have told Mobley there was no sign of foul play and no sign that her daughter killed herself. One possibility is that Powell died of hypothermia, succumbing to the heat. Still can't wrap my head around it. I just do not understand this one. I'm not sure what's next. As a paralegal, her first job was with the bustling Thomas J. Henry law firm. She had graduated with a bachelor's degree in psychology from the University of Texas at San Antonio. She completed UTSA's paralegal certificate program about 2 years ago. When she was little, we used to say she was going to be a lawyer because she could argue about anything and make it appear as though she was right, Mobley said. Mobley still remembers how excited Powell was when she started her career. For Powell, one of 3 siblings, including a brother and a sister, home was near the medical center. She attended Pat Neff Middle School and graduated from Marshall High School. Mobley said her family moved to San Antonio from Nashville more than 30 years ago when her then husband found a job at the University of Texas Health Science Center. Powell was described by a family friend as having a bubbly personality. She was charming but also private, her mother said. Several men had told me that she was the love of his life. Now Mobley is waiting for her daughter's ashes and will memorialize her in a small gathering at some point. Her thoughts turn to Ryan and what's next for him. This is all new territory for me. I'm not sure what's next, she said. We're just trying to get through every day as it comes. I do not feel that she was going to commit suicide. I have to still believe it was an accident. Something happened, but in the passenger seat, I can't get it, guys. Can't wrap my head around it, but I'm going to read a little bit of this Twitter because this I completely agree with. And I usually don't agree with psychics. But this one, to me, I feel like she just completely hit the nail on the head. Okay, so this tweet is out by psychic Carla Barron. I've never heard of her, but I was checking on some updates on Chrissy Powell, and I did see her tweet. Psychic profiling sessions, Chrissy Powell, Carla Barron. Chrissy did not commit suicide. I know, guys, I'm sounding a little nuts, and I'm going to read you what the psychic said, but I'm telling you, this is what I have been thinking. There is another male who was obsessed with Chrissy, not her child's father, but someone she knew well. This is who I believe she had intersected with that morning on July 5th. 3. The male friend wanted much more than friendship with Chrissy. I believe something more did occur between them right before July 5th that Chrissy had instantly regretted. This male was waiting for her that morning and would not take no for an answer. I sensed that the male had a weapon in his hand pointed at Chrissy and directed her to drive. It was held low and he may have gotten into the back seat, asking Chrissy for a ride to drop him off as his ride was unavailable along those lines, weapon and crouched low. Not seeing that they drove to the mall parking lot July 5th, I know this was reported, but I highly doubt this element. I see this was a cover. After midnight, in shade of darkness, he drove her car there, while another friend in larger vehicle pulled crosswire to get in after. Chrissy was already deceased at this point. I saw a strong image of this male, smothering her with his hand cloth over her mouth. This is also how he subdued her that first day once they parted. Cloth soaked in some sort of chemical. Chloroform that rendered her unconscious. I do not know if it was somebody that she did not really know or if it was somebody she did know. We will talk about Chrissy Powell more tonight, guys, in the live, but I honestly think that is it for this video. Make sure you guys drop your comments below because we are going to touch on them later tonight. Alright, guys, that is it for this video. It's a wrap. Everyone have a great weekend. Keep your babies safe and stay vigilant. I am out.